going to be rocking tonight. Jim Kelly and Bill Raftery in Jamaica, Pitt and St. John's.
Live from Alumni Hall in Queens, New York, the Redmen of St. John's, ranked number 20th, hosting the 9th-ranked Panthers of Pittsburgh. Let's check in the standings in the Big East. This a battle for first place. St. John's, with an upset against Pittsburgh, could come out with a share of the top spot in the Big East. And you look live at the crowd now at Alumni Hall. The band has been playing for over an hour. They started jamming in shoulder to shoulder about an hour and a half ago. This is a tough place to play. Hi again, everybody. I'm Jim Kelly, the coach Bill Raftery alongside. He came in as the coach of Seton Hall, so you know how difficult this can be to play. They're jammed in shoulder to shoulder. It's a small neighborhood field house. And what effect might it have on the guards?
Well, Sean Miller and Jason Matthews played at Capitol Center, started poorly, regained their composure. At Norman, they struggled, regained their composure. They need a good start. They had a great start, 12-zip out in Pittsburgh. They need another one here in Jamaica.
The Redmen's record over the last 3.5 years here, 39-2. Pittsburgh now 0-5. Now, a different shooting background. How about the rims? Are the rims any different? Tell the truth.
I think Louis Titan's rims has a wrench in his back pocket, but also the emptiness of the background. You'll talk to kids. They struggle focusing in on the rim here.
How about St. John's now? Just 2 weeks ago, they were 0-2 in the Big East. Now suddenly they're fighting for a share of first place. What's the turnaround?
Well, composure. The guards have started to play the way they're capable of playing. They played good defense, but their shot selection has improved. They're penetrating and finding somebody.
And for Louis now, the sixth man has suddenly emerged as a starter, Jason Williams.
Jason Williams has to play terrific inside defense. You're thinking of the front line. Gore's playing great. And, of course, the big guy, Jerome Lane, bounding. But Charles Smith is the key guy. He's got to guard him, not let him get started.
Okay, of course, in the first meeting, the Panthers, Bill, jumped off to that 12-0 lead, never looked back, and the Panthers ended up winning by 11, but that wasn't here at Alumni Hall. So, the 20th-ranked Redmen of St. John, the signs say, "Let's go Big Red," up against the 9th-ranked Pitt Panthers. We'll jump it up next.
Please take your seats, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not panicking yet, but Tim is our major weapon for this meeting, and I don't see him.
I spoke to him last night. He said he'll meet us there.
What, is he taking a different flight?
He's not flying, he's driving.
He is driving the 300 miles.
He just bought a 190 class Mercedes. Says he's never driven anything like it.
Well, that's great, but why would he want to do all that driving when he doesn't have to?
I guess that's the whole point.
Your life is changing, and State Farm is there.
I'm State Farm agent Jim McConnell. Terry Saylor's life insurance started out pretty simple. Then there were 3 children, 2 new mortgages, a big job promotion for Terry, and for Mrs. Saylor, a life plan of her own. 7 updates in just 6 years. State Farm agents are there to start you out with life insurance that works for you.
And like a good neighbor,
And we're there to keep it working for you.
State Farm is there.
Okay, pal, this is where we start.
This bud's for all that you do.
This is where we start? Papers say you busted it up pretty good. Too fancy for you, huh?
You've got a long road back.
Come on!
You miss the cheers.
One more!
Can you beat those doubts and fears?
Ready? Not today. Don't you mean never?
Make America work.
For that something that won't let us quit, the clean, crisp taste of Beechwood-aged Budweiser.
To your first game back. Thanks, buddy.
This bud's for you.
ESPN's NCAA basketball. Pittsburgh and St. John's. Brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Engineered like no other car in the world. By State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Budweiser, proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. This Bud's for you.
The Redmen are 14-3 overall. The Panthers 15-2 as we're set to jump it up at Alumni Hall here in Jamaica, Queens, New York. But Bill Raftery, there are some young players that are playing some key roles in this game tonight.
Well, we mentioned the 2 Pitt youngsters. They're a little older now after playing in the Big East, but St. John's, this is the seeding. Porter and Harvey have played in the Junior College National Tournament. renowned. And, of course, Jason Williams, prop 48, actually a sophomore now, his first year of playing.
Yeah, youngster's really a freshman just until his first game. They mature rather quickly, don't they?
Well, you know, you're under the gun, and there's so much asked at this level. You have to react, run the show for your club, and, of course, make sure everybody gets the basketball where they can score. And, of course, these kids have done it for both programs.
Well, the William Tell Overture has concluded. The pep band of the Redmen of St. John's. So Lou Carnesecca comes in. He's in his 20th year as the head coach, looking for victory number 437. Paul Evans, of course, in his second season as Pitt, looking for his 41st victory of the Panthers, number 283 overall. For the introduction of tonight's starting lineups, let's join the voice of the Yankees and of the Redmen courtside. Let's join Bob Shepard.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the starting lineups. For Pittsburgh, at guard, number 3, Sean Miller. For St. John's, at guard, number 3, Boo Harvey. For Pittsburgh, at guard, number 22, Jason Matthews. For St. John's, at guard, number 4, Michael Porter. For Pittsburgh, at center, number 32, Charles Smith. And for St. John's, at center, number 11, Jason Williams. For Pittsburgh, at forward, number 33, Demetrius Gore. And for St. John's, at forward, number 23, Matt Rust. For Pittsburgh, at forward, number 34, Jerome Lane. And for St. John's, at forward, number 31, Shelton Jones. Pittsburgh coach, Paul Evans, and the St. John's coach, Lou Carnesecca.
So, the Redmen of St. John's and Lou Carnesecca looking for a victory here at home at Alumni Hall against Paul Evans' Pitt Panthers. They're off to their best start ever. The tip-off is next.
Jim Howell and Joe Ringo.
Really count on your car. You can count on 8 auto stores for everything you'll need to keep your car running smooth all winter long. Like antifreeze, dry gas, thermostats, batteries and hoses. 8 auto stores' huge selection of ice scrapers, snow brushes, lock de-icers, and steering wheel covers and seat covers will keep your family comfortable and prepared for the harsh winter driving conditions that lay ahead. And as always, our staff and professionals are always happy to help you.
Are to stay on top in the Big East. What must they do?
Well, a play on words. Of course, Jerome Lane, he's got to hit that offensive glass, and it would be a good pit stop. Gore, they run a little play. Demetrius Gore cutting, and Jerome Lane finds him. If they're to be successful, that'll work. And, of course, Louis, good percentage from deep and penetrate after, and who better than Michael Porter? And anybody knows, without knowing somebody, you have to be in position to do well. Jason Williams must fight Charles Smith for inside position early.
I tell you, the St. John's fans had to fight for inside position to get a seat. All set to jump it up. Shelton Jones.
Oh, he can't catch it.
Charles Smith, and wait a minute.
Violation. He can't catch it.
Playing center field, the infield fly rule.
Charles didn't wait for the hit. A third party.
Matt Brust will inbounds in the backcourt.
And a man.
Boo Harvey. Sean Miller picks him up. To Brust. Over to Porter. Matthews on him down low.
Whoa.
Easy layup for Jason Williams, the 6'9" sophomore.
Charles Smith got trapped, and the rest was simple for Jason Williams.
Sean Miller Down low to Gore. Open man from the key is Matthews. Around the cone. Smith pulls it down. And we're tied at 2.
Charles showed, Demetrius and Bress were banging one another. Charles showed excellent strength there.
Jones went over and said something to Jimmy Howell. The officials, Joe Mingle and Jimmy Burr, along with Jim Howell.
Go back screen for Shelton.
Boo Harvey starts the drive on Miller. Tries to dish it inside to Jason Williams, picked off by Brust.
All he had to do was put it on the floor. They had a basket, Jim.
2 points for Shelton Jones, the 6'9" senior.
Been taking the rap all through his career, being up and down. Certainly not so this year. Very steady.
Matthews down low.
Man, a man. Bad pass.
Kicked out off Lane's knee, and Brust gathers it back. St. John's up by a bucket.
The people here love to see these guards go wild. You can hear them, any moves they make. Porter, or of course Boo Harvey. They'd like an open game, but Louis winning his way. Not too many threes or woo-wooing.
Harvey against Sean Miller. Interesting ball handling because it was Sean Miller who was on the Tonight Show, and that's incredible when he was about 5 years old.
Not a bad look there by Bruss.
Williams gets it back to Boo Harvey. 4-point lead for the Redmen.
Much better off the dribble, both guards.
Keep in mind, in the first meeting back in January, the Panthers stormed off to a 12-point lead and never were headed. They won by 11. Gore.
There's that little play.
Rebound. In and out. Jerome Lane and a foul, and he traveled. Jones goes over and says something again to Jim Howell.
Matt Bruss saw the outlet and, of course, then traveled with the basketball. You want to play under control.
The Panthers' first bucket right here.
Now Charles Smith with good position. You see the hold off, but the strength impressed me with the follow.
17:45 left in the first half for 3. Sean Miller, no, won't fall. Gore with a rebound. Out to Miller again. 3, doesn't take it. 17-footer by Gore, rolls out.
Once again.
Lane again.
Great look. Didn't come up with it.
Rush. Boo Harvey, 4 on 3. Matthews reached inside.
A little shake and bake. Boo likes to do some magic out in the middle. But right now you can see Jerome Lane doing a good job on the glass. Charles Smith had one. Here's the open floor. Little struggle with the dribble. Didn't have the string on it. But Matthews all over him.
Rust outside the 19-9 range. Dishes to Porter. Quickly inside. And Boo Harvey throws it away.
Jason, look at this run.
Albert Demetrius Gore.
Matthews over the top. But what a great look by Jerome Lane. Demetrius just didn't complete it.
And a bad foul by Jason Matthews quickly picks up his second.
Puts the backcourt in trouble, huh? Might see Darryl Porter early.
At the 17-minute mark, St. John's leads 6-2, a 4-point spread. Biggest lead of the game. Outside, Jason Williams.
He didn't wait for the play to develop. It was a double screen for Michael Porter. Jason didn't want any part of it. Shelton Jones and Charles Smith now banging one another.
Panthers look a little sluggish. They were up in Boston at the Garden on Saturday night, had a 17-point lead, cut down by the Eagles to 3, and then the Panthers prevailed. Smith inside, way high off the glass.
Oh, Shelton with the feet in Jerome Lane's midsection.
Russ fakes inside on Smith, goes to the lane. Jason Williams turns around and a foul.
No question, St. John's much more comfortable here in Jamaica, pushing the ball when the situation dictates it. You saw Brust with a strong effort, and Jason Williams with a heck of a follow.
I'm not sure Jerome Lane likes the pace. He's huffing a little bit. Sean Miller went over and tried to calm him down.
Of course, you mentioned Boston. Paul Evans said they played well for about 30, and then that backcourt up there leading with Dana Barrow started perking, and he can really get it going for BC.
He was throwing him in from Steve Grogan range. At the line, Jason Williams out of Christ the King High School. 7-point lead for the Redmen of St. John's. 16:23 left. Matthews still in with 2 fouls.
Pitt runs a high-low. Lane will look down, and Russ got called for the foul.
Pretty good elbow.
Yeah, what they're doing is Demetrius Gore will hide and then cut off the low post. You see him trying to get set up. They leave the other side empty, lane high, and of course Matt Russ. That's not real physical for him, by the way.
Outstanding tight end in high school, recruited by Miami and by Penn State.
Same play down. Matthews screening for Smith. And
inside,
Jones.
Charlie Smith. Nice move to the hoop.
Shelton Jones did not beat him to the spot. Should have spaced, split the rim, split the backcourt.
Charlie Smith has all 4 of the Panther points at the 15:55 mark, first half.
Still man-to-man both ways.
Harvey with a high dribble, gets it over to Porter, to Brust.
Little screen down for Porter that time.
Brust on the paint, puts it up. And Lane, Mr. Rebound. Second in the nation. Has 7 or more rebounds every game this year for the Panthers. Pulled down another one. Matthews down on the baseline to Miller. Swings it to Smith. Charles Smith out of Warren Harding High School in Bridgeport.
Showing some variety, isn't he? Now, Sean Miller, terrific three-point shooter. John Calipari, one of the assistants for Pitt, said if he can start nailing them, he thinks that's the last addition for this team.
He had a great game Saturday night at BC. There, from 14 feet, Jason Williams. He has 7.
He's a little tit for tat with Smith, huh? Bringing him outside.
Back to a 5-point lead. Charles Smith to Sean Miller. Cross court. Louis. And Miller connects for 3. Sean Miller.
He shoots the ball. Does that open up that inside game? Out in Oklahoma, which we mentioned at the beginning, he didn't shoot well, but I loved him. He kept on taking the shots.
Harvey cuts through. Porter waits for him. Harvey from 3-point range. Fakes against Miller. Goes inside. Gets it to Brust. Slapped away. Here's a 2-on-1 for Pitt. Demetrius Gore and a chance for a 3-pointer. Louis does not like the call.
I thought Demetrius could have done more with that, and so does Paul. He got away with one. Louis not too happy.
Watch number 33, the 6'5 senior out of Detroit.
Huh?
Ooh.
I know.
That's pretty close.
Well, I think they got away with one. Pitt. Good step in.
Gore at the line. Demetrius has hit 15 of his last 18 from the stripe. A 79% free throw shooter.
Because with Brooklyn not eligible, they need Gore to play well, and he's responded beautifully.
Big 3-point play, and after a 7-point lead for St. John's, we're knotted up, and then the Redmen fall behind by 1.
After scrupulous examination, a leading consumer publication called it the best car we've ever tested. Road and Track judged that it may be the best sedan in the world. Worth every penny, concluded Auto, Motor, and Sport. The Mercedes-Benz 300e. Now that it's astonished the experts, let it astonish you.
Our future, you, the hopes and dreams and promise of America. We invite you to learn the technology of tomorrow in the Navy of today.
Bill St. John's had a 7-point lead. Pittsburgh on a 6-0 spurt. First the 3-pointer by Sean Miller, then the 3-point play by Gore to take the crowd right out of it. And good battle going on inside with the 2 centers.
Williams playing very well. He's got to keep it up for St. John's to be in it. A little pressure, full court now. Of course, the key there was getting into Williams.
Williams has 7 points, going for his number 9, and a foul on Charlie Smith.
Charles gets 3.5 blocks a game. He got all ball, but on the swipe down, got a piece of Jason, but Jason's got a pump fake in there.
First foul on Charles Smith, so going to the stripe the sixth man until the 23rd of January when he scored 15 points against UConn. And the 6'9" sophomore, a 75% free throw shooter. Check it, a 60% free throw shooter.
Yeah, he struggled in that Georgetown game. I think he missed 7 in a row. One game.
9 points for Jason Williams, and we played just under 6 minutes.
You mentioned physical inside. There's a lot of bumps by Pitt, so there are going to be bodies banging and coming together. Look at Lane, just not getting it to him.
Matthews slapped away by Porter. Matthews is 6'3", and Porter's 5'11", but he's got springs in his legs.
Well, he sure does.
This is a two-pointer by Gore, rolls around. Jerome Lane pulls it down and gets it back to Sean Miller.
Third offensive rebound by Jerome.
Gore starts to drive. Good defense by Shelton Jones. Smith comes up with a loose ball. Fade away from 8.
Showing some toughness.
He's hit from just about every spot. He's got 8.
A lot of people here to see him. Reports Jerry West is here. Don Nelson once more. Al Menendez from the New Jersey Nets.
I heard there were 10 or 12 NBA scouts here. This is a real tough ticket. Jones to the baseline.
Smith holding on to Shelton Jones. Very sportsmanlike play, but an excellent post pass.
Back to a 1-point lead for the Redmen. 4 points for Shelton Jones. Matthews against Porter. Lane sets the pick. Lane, too hard.
Good tip out by Smith. Look at this post pass. They're going to give it to Smith. But what a look by Sean Miller. That's 2 on Charles. That should inhibit him somewhat.
Boy, you get the big man in trouble. The 6'10" senior. Here's the pushing off.
See the seal off, though? I don't think it was much of a little nickel dimer, maybe, huh? The empty side. Nice looking pass.
15-14, 12:54 left in the first half. Redmen lead by 1. They had a 7-point lead. Panthers came back, took a 1-point lead. You expect a close game most of the way?
I would, and you won't see many fast breaks. Both clubs balance the floor very well. Bad play by Shelton.
Tried to dribble it too many times. Here's a 4-on-3.
See the balance.
Sean Miller.
Good kick to the 5-man.
This is a 2-pointer and it won't fall. Quickly, Boo Harvey.
Nice break. Defense had collapsed. Charles Smith filled at the top.
Russ starts his drive. Slapped away by Jerome Lane. Russ gets it back. Up to Jones from 18. Off iron. No good. Sean Miller will hustle. 3-on-2. Bad pass.
Sean Miller off the dribble. Good idea. But it wasn't there, so you don't force it.
12-14 left as Paul Evans looks on in his second season at Pitt, the 11th head coach of the Panthers. But in 2 years, 40 victories, more than any other coach in Panther history. Jerome Lane dishes back to Miller. A 3-point try, airborne, no good. Inside, Demetrius Gore.
Great job on the boards. You always figure Lane, Smith will sneak in, and then Demetrius reading the miss.
Gore with 5 points.
Little double again for Porter.
Porter quickly around Matthews. Russ had a notion.
I love to see Porter shoot the jumper. As you mentioned, how high he gets. Great elevation. Steps.
Traveling.
Can't cross over. You almost have to forget it.
11:38 left in the first half. St. John's led by 7. Now they trail by 1.
Hi, I'm Erwin Garston of Garston Motors. When I test drive one of my used cars, it's almost like I know it well enough to talk to it.
You should. You shampooed me. Undercoated me.
Well, put it this way. I don't talk to it. It talks to me. Come see me at Garston Motors, exit 73 on the LIE, and then 2 miles east on Route 58. At Garston, our used cars speak for themselves.
Check my speedometer and odometer. Check my heater operation.
Sally, it's Mom. I love your new apartment. I know we just left, but somebody wants to say hello.
New York Telephone presents the Good Night Call.
Hi, it's Sandy. No, your mother's not losing it.
A call can make a difference, and New York Telephone's lower regional calling rates make it easier to stay close.
I know it's important for you to be on your own, but I wanted to say goodnight.
A call can make a difference.
Sunday? Dinner? We'd love to come.
New York Telephone, a 9X company.
All right, Bill, let's go back. January the 9th at Fitzgerald. Pittsburgh led 12-0. This is Jerome Lane, 19 points, 15 rebounds. Charles Smith had 20 points. Demetrius Gore at 18. The front court averaging 48 points for the Panthers in their last 3 games.
St. John's closed it a little bit with a good run late. But the Vince Lombardi of producers is home with an Achilles tendon. Mo Davenport, who does the Monday night games with us, and we wish him well. The Duke, got to get him back, huh?
He's sitting there with his notepad.
Well, that's what those football guys get for playing a finesse sport like basketball.
Martin, the freshman, Bobby Martin, stuffs the popcorn popper out of Atlantic City, New Jersey, his first 2, and the biggest Panther lead is up to 3.
And Demetrius, that was zone. Something Lou, kind of second, occasionally struggles with because they don't have the outside shooting. But Gore with the great penetration set up that goal.
Great anticipation by Jerome Lane. Long lead pass, Demetrius Gore misses the easy layup. The other end, Boo Harvey.
What usually happens, you miss an easy one, and you get punished for it. Harvey able to ignite that break for St. John's.
Big 4-point swing early, Bill. The 2 you didn't get, the 2 you gave away.
Demetrius really alert before on his penetration. Great help.
Lapped away. Porter made the play. Boo Harvey against Miller. Just hands it to his former junior college mate. Out of San Jose Junior College, the 2 teamed in Texas for 2 years. Won the NJCA double championship. Their record 73-1. How's that?
San Jacinto always in the finals, but out here in Jamaica, the fans want to see these 2 little guys go. But unfortunately, you can't go all the time at this level. So they get spoiled with a play like that.
Nice around, missing everything. And it's pulled down by Jones. Nice run by the Redmen here. Long lead pass to Porter with spring. Michael Porter with 4.
One thing that would concern me, if I were St. John's, Pitt is getting the ball into perfect scoring area, just not making the shots.
No, both Demetrius Gore, Charles Smith, they've been shooting the ball very hard. We talk about the different backgrounds. A little deceptive.
Are they alert here? I don't know if they gave it to Brust. On the floor. Either Harvey or Brust. Let's see how they gave it to Harvey. He grabbed. Mack gets away with one.
First foul on Boo Harvey as the freshman. Bobby Martin looked to get 2. Field goal percentage.
That won't get you far, will it?
The Panthers, 36%.
You always look as to the spot you're getting the shots. That makes you feel comfortable. If Pitt can continue getting it in low, they're going to become effective. And right here, Brust with the hold on Bobby Martin.
Of course, you know, as you go back and look at that field goal percentage, nobody has been able to shoot better than 50% against Pittsburgh all year.
And Paul felt early on his best defense was man-to-man. And Pitt certainly has played some good clubs well and aggressively in man-to-man.
Bobby Martin swings it to Smith. Back to goal. Sean Miller.
Had a chance to meet Sean Miller's dad out in Pittsburgh. One of the games we did out there. Rightfully very proud of his son and has done a great job as the point guard.
Jerome Lane connects over Jason Williams, and Lane gets his first 2 of the night. He'll have to get on track. He averages just under 12 points a game.
Interesting matchups with Jones playing Charles Smith, and of course then Jason and Lane teeing it up. Little zone again by Pitt.
Boo Harvey free for 3.
I don't believe it. A 3.
Boo Harvey came in hitting 4 of 13 from 3-point range, 31%. That one is his 7th point of the night.
And they don't say nice rub off. See that play? That's pretty.
Inside to Gore, and the 6'5 senior out of Chadsley High School in Detroit connects.
You rub a guy off. It's very difficult. If the center doesn't help you, you'll see here the pass. Lane, an excellent passer. Gore, Porter just playing him by himself. Matt Brust had to switch, did not.
And Demetrius, who again has hit 15 of his last 18 coming in, makes it a big 3-point play to bring the Panthers back to within 1. 8 points for number 33 out of Detroit.
Darrell Porter in the ballgame now, excellent defensively. Another one of the freshman group. As Jerome, you said he's huffing and puffing. You wouldn't say that to his face, would you?
If I had about a 20-yard start.
Well, he's gotten a lot of mileage out of that backboard incident, Andy.
I've got 4 pieces of the glass that they gave me at the BC game.
2-3 zone. St. John's goes down and through. See Bresco, nice look, but didn't convert.
Porter to Miller. Miller wants the baseline, gives it to Martin. Crowd thought he walked. Sean is free. This is for 2.
A good non-call by Jimmy Burr. Miller had left his feet. Thought it may have been a charge, and he backed out to get the open jumper.
5 points for Sean Miller. Just needs 2 assists to break Sonny Lewis's freshman record of 88, set back in 76-77.
You mentioned the fast pace of the game. I think the zone by Paul Evans to slow it up a little. You would think it would be the other way.
7.5 left to go. St. John's down by 1. They've led by as many as 7. Jones gets it back out to Boo Harvey. Shot clock says 17.
Get the hand check there. Score. Didn't move the legs. You know, when you go on the road with a club, Jim, a lot of thoughts go into your head. Sometimes you play a half at a time. And you might not be as aggressive as you might be at home just to see what the other club can do.
Kind of like football when you're feeling your opponent out, establishing the run to set up the pass. We'll take timeout.
Weekends, days off, don't want to work no more. Gonna take my time now that it's mine. And I don't want to be where there's no Coca-Cola. This is the life. These are the real things. You're the heart of it. Every day, every way, Coca-Cola's a part of your life. Oh, when Coca-Cola's a part of your life, you can't beat the feeling.
It was reliability brought down to earth. A new high-efficiency gas furnace that is so advanced it seems almost simple. The 9580GF from Tempstar.
Look in the yellow pages for Tempstar or Whirlpool Heating and Cooling, or phone toll-free.
Lou Conaseca's always had a senior to lead the way. Shelton Jones, whether it's the jump shot or an offensive rebound here, he holds off the baseline, and Boo Harvey able to light it up from 3 something. Of course, Sean Miller doing it pretty well himself for Pitt, but St. John's just doesn't look for it. You can see Miller almost with as many made as attempted by St. John's.
Outside to Brust. Matt had a notion. Takes it inside, cross court. Takes it to Harvey, back to Porter. 35 on the shot clock. 3-point try. Boo Harvey again.
Louis tired of the bad ink, and here comes the bush. Let's just see.
10 points for Boo Harvey, 2 under his average, but Billy, he's been averaging 17.5 points the last 3 games.
They have played well, the guard. 2-3 zone right now. Lou Conaseca is showing he can deploy other than the man-to-man. Charles Smith is tough outside because of his size, both the shot and the look.
Porter gets it inside to Bobby Martin, and a reaching around foul. The first called against Jason Williams.
Charles Smith at the foul line deployed. He gets an angle to catch the pass, can turn and shoot or look underneath.
Both teams with 6 fouls so far. Next one puts him in the bonus. The freshman Martin reloads, gets it to Porter, to Sean Miller. This is for 3.
That play didn't get out there.
Paul Evans said when he took over at Pitt, not too many young men coming out of high school have the kind of classic moves, the coordination of a Sean Miller.
And the confidence, and I believe that's all from the exhibitions and the exposure he's had nationally.
I asked him if Johnny Carson said anything to him. He said, I was almost too young to remember, but they did a little dribbling exhibition on the Tonight Show, and then Sean was on That's Incredible. You should be on that.
My life has been incredible. Nice baseline entry pass before by St. John's. Didn't get anything out of it.
Jones gets it back to Boo Harvey, who's heating up from 3-point range.
There it is again. They got the walk, but they should have had Jason running right down the pump. He would have had a layup.
Jones, wearing those goggles, of course, was over in Europe in the summer and had a detached retina.
And Louis, the shot of him, he's been doing that a long time, running the sidelines. He's got boundless energy. Man-to-man again.
Smith comes through, sets the pick. Jerome Lane.
Don Nelson said he's got to learn a jump shot. Of course, he was known as a scorer in high school. He gave much ballyhoo with his ability to shoot and run the break.
Biggest lead of the night for the Panthers, ranked number 9 in both polls.
Good, strong comeback, though, composure-wise as well as score.
Well, they made those 2 3-pointers. First, the 3-pointer by Sean Miller, and then the 3-pointer by Gore after he was fouled inside. That was a 6-0 run to get him back in after trailing by 7.
Got him to 12-11, and it's been right there since. 1 or 2 point difference.
Lou Harvey says, let's run it and swing it around. He does to Porter. Back to Harvey. Brust is free. This is from 18. In and out of the cone, and Sean Miller scoops it up. Wants to run. 4-on-2 quickly.
Oh, Shelton Jones on Bobby Martin. I thought Bobby Martin had Charles Smith with a quick pass off that jump shot. He was going to shoot it, though, and, of course, Shelton caught up with him.
First on the native out of Queens, New York. And going to the line is Bobby Martin, the freshman, out of Atlantic City, New Jersey. He came into Pitt as one of the most heralded freshmen, didn't he? Highly recruited.
Of course, Wally Massimino thought he was going to Villanova, as everybody else did. Ends up playing at Pitt, much to the chagrin of the Villanova people, obviously. Very talented player, good inside moves, runs the floor.
71% free throw shooter on the night coming in, 45 of 63 for the three-law major. You know, he once played the lead in Jesus Christ Superstar.
Well, he's got a career after, huh? Not far from Broadway right here. Pitt with 5 now. Of course, the zone's been a factor. Slowed St. John's down a little bit, makes them cry a little more, and they haven't been coming up with good shots.
Lou Harvey looks to Jones, can't get it. Bobby Martin, the freshman, doing a great job. Martin denying Jason Williams. Almost proudly.
I thought he did. He switched pivot feet.
Lou Harvey.
Good call. Jerome Lane tried to strip from the rear and, of course, ignited Harvey to the goal there.
First on Jerome Lane. Each team was 7. We've got 4:23 left to go in the first half. Couple of scores. Kentucky is leading Mississippi 38-29 at the half. Michigan on top over Iowa 31-26. That's at the half. And Purdue leading Wisconsin 48-37 at the half. We'll see Wisconsin and the Gophers of Clem Haskins on Monday night right here on ESPN. We'll have scores and highlights with Bob Lee back in the studio at halftime.
You saw the field goal percentage there, 42%. That's going to go up because Boo, he's got a lane violation. I don't know about those. I hate those things. Once you get the ball in hand, let him run in there.
Frustrates you as a coach, though, right?
Oh, it sure does.
4-point lead for Pitt.
Louis not too happy with that one either. Man-to-man, St. John's.
Louis took his glasses off. Smith sets the pick. Lane wants it.
Can you believe
And
this?
that's why.
Now, he's normally the passer from the top or down on the box. Little fake pick and roll, and he went to the empty side.
6 points for the man that passed John Ridley Saturday night at BC and moved into 6th place on the rebounding list for the Panthers. Nice dribble by Jones and rejected by Smith.
Great block, huh?
Redmen want goaltending, but I think the whistle blew.
I think they got Bobby Martin for the foul. The slithering Shelton Jones. See him here trying to get between defenders. No question Martin got it, but big Charles Smith. That's why he gets 3.5 a game.
Charles Smith, 6th in the country in block shots, came in with 61. At the line, Shelton Jones. 74% free throw shooter, 78 of 106 coming in.
Villanova, of course, played very well here and beat St. John's. Then they went out to Pitt. I didn't think they played well, but you've got to hand it to Pitt for going out and getting that 12-zip lead. And then all of a sudden, St. John's became a basketball team after playing so poorly. So Louis did a marvelous job getting them back.
6 points for Shelton Jones, who's now 22nd on the Redmen all-time scoring list.
The S-Class. The engineering flagships of Mercedes-Benz. And something more. Automobiles that evoke memories of a day long past. And a car so exotic that it turned a young boy's head. A heritage of legendary automobiles that have inspired dreams. Automobiles that have made the three-pointed star a universal symbol of engineering excellence. The Mercedes-Benz S-Class. Nothing less than the best of every big Mercedes there ever was.
Right now, neck and neck, the rookie, the official rookie, Sean Miller. Outstanding performance first half, and the unofficial rookie, a third-year man here after his junior college career. Very even, and surprisingly, Boo with the 2 for 2 from deep. Louis normally gets it inside.
Well, Boo Harvey, when he was at junior college, averaged 16 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals at San Jacinto. Bob Lee's our host. Top 20 scores, highlights of that game between the Hawkeyes and Michigan, and, of course, Oklahoma and Kansas. Bobby doing a great job back in the studio for a long night.
Bobby used to do play-by-play at Seton Hall. Of course, we gave him a lot of things to talk about for the opponent, unfortunately.
Jerome Lane and the whistle inside. The foul pushing off called on Bobby Martin. Will take the long walk to the other end. Talking about Seton Hall. Now, when you played here at Alumni Hall against Louis, he beat you so badly. When you were coach, you sent him a note. And what was in the note?
Well, we were losing by 35 points, and I just said, Dear Louis, I surrender. I wanted to put some of the scrubs in, and I signed it, Love Bill. Would you like to work on your zone offense? He looked down and shook his head. We went into a 2-3. He's beaten a few people here. But the freshman experience, Bobby Martin, Matt Bruss, physical, banging him. He was frustrated and thrust the arm out and got the call.
Matt Brust at the line, 5 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals in 39 minutes against Seton Hall last Saturday. He's got his initial 2 tonight, well below his 9.5 point per game average.
Little high rub off.
Sean Miller, and the bucket will count.
They got Jerome Lane with an offensive foul, which we'll enjoy seeing once more. But Sean Miller, they hadn't run the play. A pretty call by Paul. Look at the movement. I mean, that Bruss can handle it. You or I'd be out for a week, but Jerome with the big wide body. But Sean Miller, interesting, they hadn't run that pick and roll for Miller. That time they did it, and a high, soft kiss by the rookie.
Panthers saying, what's going on? At the line, Matt Brust again, the 6'5 junior out of Babylon.
Norm Law was up questioning the call. I'm sure look at the tape and condemn Jerome Lane for moving on the screen.
And Matt Brust, who played 8 games at North Carolina before transferring. He's a guest disc jockey on a Long Island radio station. Converts 2 for 2, and he's got 4 points to bring the Redmen back to within 2. St. John's, their biggest deficit was 5. Biggest lead for the Redmen was 7.
Pitt's run some nice stuff. This is a new set now.
Charles Smith from way outside. Drives on Jones. Puts it on the paint. Dishes off to Martin. And the freshman blew the easy one. Smith from 6.
Jerome is, Charles has really impressed me with his presence this evening. Seems to be doing everything correct every time he touches the ball.
How about his shot selection? He hits from inside, from middle range, and he's thrown up a couple from long range.
A repertoire. Of course, as we've noted before, he's going to be a small forward at the next level.
2:40 left to go in the first half. Boo Harvey whips it over to Brust. Inside, nice to Jones.
And unfortunately, Jerome Lane had to come out on Harvey, then got caught with the whipping, as you mentioned, of the basketball.
8 points for the man from Amityville, New York. And Amityville High School, where he plays for Freddie Williams, Shelton Jones. Redmen are back to within 4. Freshman travel, Bobby Martin.
That's 2 plays now Bobby Martin has made, and he won't make them next year. And right away, meets up. It's easy to recognize and say.
You know, when you talk about Bobby Martin, he's really a true freshman and a very young player. He's only been playing basketball since the 9th grade.
Very talented young player, I might add.
They tie it up underneath, and the Panthers come out with it.
Good power move right there. The step through. I don't know if they gave it to Brust or Williams, but a good step through by Bobby Martin.
They gave it to Brust, and Matt will sit down. And number 14, Marco Baldi checks in, the 6'11 junior out of Italy. That's 3 fouls on Matt Brust, so he's in some foul trouble. And Charles Smith, likewise for the Pitt Panthers. Martin goes to the line. We talked about him only playing basketball since the 9th grade. He was discovered by an assistant basketball coach in Atlantic City High School, Lloyd Barksdale.
First sub now, Marco Baldi. And he's the kind of a kid that Louis hoping coming off the bench will improve his play. He's been struggling. In fact, they went to Sean Muto, a freshman, ahead of Marco in the Seton Hall game.
And checking in, number 22 for Paul Evans, Jason Matthews, out of St. Monica's High School in Los Angeles. And Bobby Martin, the man rated by the Basketball Times as the 5th best power forward in high school, connects for his 6th point.
Still a 2-3.
4-point lead again. Baldi dishes off. Jones around Gore nicely. And there is Charles Smith.
Up big, and Gore gave up the baseline, but Charles showing his ability to read and then be active.
Jones gets his 10th on the goaltending call. 1:47 left before halftime. Again, Bob Lee back in the studio. Scores and highlights of all the big games coming up at the half.
High point total has to favor Pitt in my book. They're used to scoring 79 a game. But Louis wants a palm.
Do the officials hear it? Do they pay attention?
Because if they did, they'd go crazy, would they?
For 3.
This lazy defense, Michael Porter, good screen down by Charles Smith as well.
Jason Matthews, his first 3 of the night, well below his 9.8 average. 5-point lead, biggest lead of the night again for the Panthers. They've had a 5-point spread twice. At the minute mark, 30 on the shot clock. Porter. Jason Williams double team down low. Baldi wasn't looking, and the Panthers bring it back. Here's a 3-on-3.
Good control there, huh? Now Baldi looked bad. I'll get back to it.
Smith inside.
Baldi looked at fault, but it was the pass. He was moving out of the lane. Not a good look.
12 points, Bill, for Charles Smith. 5 below his average, and he's got another half left to go.
Now you look for leadership. Of course, Charles is a center. Doesn't touch the ball that much, but in the half-court set, he does direct up top when they move him there. It does a great job for Pitt.
If you're Louis now, 18 seconds left before half. You try the 3-pointer, or you try for 2?
I think you try for the good shot. You know they're knocking right at the door. Settle for the 3 if you end up with it. Well, so much for my...
Jones off the iron, tried for the 3. Miller gets it back with 4 ticks left. Long lead pass goes to Jason Matthews, and he steps out of bounds.
What a break.
1 second left to go.
St. John's shot too quickly. Very fortunate then that they didn't give up a basket at the other end.
Paul Evans looks on. Bob Lee is looking on back in the studio. Top 20 scores. Highlights coming up at the half. And that'll do it. St. John's jumped off to a 7-point lead, and the biggest lead for the Panthers is up to 7. We're at the intermission. 45-38 our score as the 9th-ranked Panthers of Pittsburgh lead the 20th-ranked Redmen of St. John. Let's go back to the studio, and here's Bob.
Thank you very much, James. And, of course, Pitt leading in this game in a building in which they have never won a game. The Panthers coming in 0-5 at Alumni Hall. Well, as we continue, it's ESPN's NCAA basketball game 2 of our doubleheader. Game 1 this evening, we took a look at the #1 team in the Atlantic Coast Conference, the #4 Duke Blue Devils, and it looks so very good tonight against Georgia Tech. Highlights of that game. Georgia Tech, there are a number of different games being played tonight. It was back and forth, and, of course, the Zanies at the Cameron Indoor. All Duke in the first half. Danny Ferry here on the steal. Gets it to Kevin Strickland, to Billy Knight. Look at this spin. Oh, and the basket. Blue Devils up early by 10, and then they pour more onto the fire. John Smith, quick pass here to Danny Ferry, and the 3. And Duke is up by 19, but the Ramblin' Wreck got going. Craig Neal to Brian Oliver, and Tech cuts it to a 6-point game. Georgia Tech with a record here. Craig Neal to Dennis Scott, the freshman. Neal surpassing Mark Price, the all-time Tech assist man. He played hurt tonight. It was really tough for him physically, but the Blue Devils down the stretch, Ferry to Strickland. Duke outgunning Georgia Tech, winning it by the count of 78-65 tonight. Duke #1 in the conference, 15-2 overall, 5-1 in the ACC. Ferry had 22 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. Game still underway in the Big Ten tonight. Purdue has won the last 20 meetings against Wisconsin. Doesn't look like they're going to have any trouble tonight. Second half, Everett Stevens here with a steal. Leaves the defenders stumbling over each other. Doesn't get much easier than that. Purdue looking to go 18-2 on the season. They have a 20-point lead late in this game. They are tied for first in the Big Ten. And with a 7-1 record in the Big Ten, they do win this game. Oklahoma and Kansas this evening. Now, Kansas, of course, with that win streak snapped recently at the Fog Allen Fieldhouse, but Oklahoma coming in. And in this game, Kansas is an underdog, certainly at home. Watch this pass work. Otis Livingston to Danny Manning to Keith Harris. Lincoln Minor bullets to Manning. Danny lays it in. Oklahoma coming in second in conference. They're approaching halftime now, 29-all in the first half. Oklahoma last won in Lawrence back in 1984, but Kansas has won 10 of the last 11 that was been played at Lawrence in this rivalry. Kentucky a winner tonight, easily passed Ole Miss by that 94-65 count. Winston Bennett had 11 rebounds. He had 16 points. Kentucky 7-2 in conference, going in tied for second with Vanderbilt in the conference. We'll be checking more scores and highlights throughout this halftime. We are at halftime. Pitt leading the Big East. St. John's #2 in conference. So the lead is up for grabs, and Pitt leads the game by 7.
Both Joe and Tom had work done by the printer, but only Tom called to say thanks. The printer told Tom of some good binding companies who put him in touch with top publishers, who connected him with a new importer, who made him a deal his boss still can't get over. All this networking helped get Tom a big promotion. Think ahead. A call can make a difference. New York Telephone, a 9X company.
We are Empire Dodge, 2153 Jericho Turnpike, Comac, Long Island, a quarter-mile west of the Sacticos Parkway, where $88 delivers any new or used car in stock, like this Dodge Caravan SE 7-passenger. It's a beauty. How about $88 down, only $249 a month? And take a look at this. A brand new 1988 Dodge Mini Ram van designed to be unique. Only $88 down, $219 a month. Here at Empire Dodge, 499-0330. Why not call today?
How to shave a giant. Avoid big trouble. Use the Gillette Good News Plus disposable. It's got the Lubra-Smooth strip. So the comfortable shave for a giant is this little guy. Good News Plus from Gillette.
Listen, sweetheart. Have you any idea what would happen if you rent a car from somebody other than Thrifty? Chances are they'd cost too much. Thrifty car rentals near the airport, not in it. Their overhead's lower, so they cost less. If you don't rent from Thrifty, you'll regret it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon for the rest of your life.
A luxurious Chrysler 5th Avenue from Thrifty, just $29.95 a day. Call 1-800-4CARS.
Thrifty, this is the start of a beautiful friendship.
Michelle! His wife has disappeared. He doesn't want to be a hero, but he doesn't have another choice. Harrison Ford, Frantic, rated R, starts Friday, February 26th.
ESPN's NCAA basketball, Pittsburgh and St. John's. Brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, engineered like no other car in the world. By the Coca-Cola Company and your local Coca-Cola bottler of Coca-Cola Classic. And by Tempstar, the newest name in home heating and air conditioning. You can rely on the Star.
Welcome back at halftime. Good evening. I'm Bob Lee. It is the intermission of our second game. St. John's and Pitt. Pitt #9 in the country leads it by 8 points at St. John's. We continue our rundown of the top 20 tonight. If you want to see intensity, we're about to show you some. It might be misguided. Iowa and Michigan. Iowa's getting really, the bums rush and has been down in this game early. Now let's show you intensity. Look at that score. Michigan leads it by 35. Traveling violation on Iowa. Bill Frieder, always intense, the head coach of Michigan, wants a technical because Ed Horton just tossed that ball down the court. He says, I want a technical. Did not quite get the technical. So they will inbound the ball and play the final, no technical, Bill, and play the final seconds of this first half. Again, remember, Michigan is leading in this game at this point by 35 points, 61-26. Toss it in. play out the string in the first half. That's the game clock. This is a look back at the final seconds of the first half. A game that Michigan has owned from the get-go. From the national anthem, they've been in this game. Bill Frieder wanted that technical. There's Tom Davis. Remember, Michigan leads it by 35 points. You want to see some intensity. He's up by 35 points. Intensity is one thing, Coach, but manners are another. 101-75 Michigan. With several minutes to go in this game, is finishing the destruction. Michigan will win. Purdue will win. We'll still have a tie at the top of the Big Ten. Vanderbilt, going in this evening, tied for the second spot in the SEC, should hold on to that. Kentucky, a winner tonight. Vanderbilt beating Mississippi State in the second half by that 57-49 count. Iowa State and Kansas State, very tight game. 2-point lead now for K-State, which leads the Big 8 conference. Iowa State a 5-point underdog in that game. And Florida and Alabama. Alabama trying to hold on, but Florida beginning to pull away late in this game, leading it by 6. The Gators have won 3 of 4 so far this year on the SEC road trips, and Florida leading it now by 6. We'll have more scores as we check out what's happening on a very busy night with the leadership of the Big East at stake on the tiny floor at Alumni Hall. 45-38. Pitt leads.
You know, there's nothing like a winner. That's why I'm driving this, the Advanced Big Ford Pickup. America's best-selling pickup for 11 straight years. And I got more for my money with this special model. It cost me over $800 less than a comparably equipped Chevy. And I really go for Ford's advanced features, like multi-port fuel-injected engines and anti-lock rear brakes. Yeah, Ford. If you don't go with a proven winner, what are you going with?
Now get $500 cash bonus on all new F-Series pickups with manual transmission.
Yeah, just what I suspected. Got a bad power pump on 18. All right, Dave. So don't worry, we'll get you fixed up. It's our anniversary. Houston. You call my wife.
We go right to rig 4 first, Dave?
Yeah. First thing I gotta do is get the drill bit out of that hole, pull up all the pipe, then we can see what's in there.
Sure, I'm glad you're here, Dave.
Al, yeah, I'm on United, flight 170 coming home. Osaka.
We are very happy. When you spend your life making things go smoothly for others,
Arigato. Thank you, Dave.
Arigato.
the least your airline can do is make things go smoothly for you. United. Rededicated to giving you the service you deserve.
Oh, it's my son's birthday, remember? Mm-hmm. Promise you won't call me.
Come fly the friendly skies.
Hey, Dave, thanks for coming down.
Sure, no problem.
Round of lights here?
Ask for Bud Light. The light beer with the first name and taste.
Let me know when you're ready for another round.
Because everything else is just a light.
Thursday, the North Carolina Tar Heels try to tame the Clemson Tigers, and Brigham Young shows its strength in a shootout with Utah. Right after Oklahoma State meets Nebraska, live Thursday night on the ESPN.
Pitt leads this game by 8 points over St. John's at halftime. Back to Queens in just a second. We've got 3 games tomorrow. Oklahoma State, Nebraska kicks it off at 7 Eastern time. We follow it up. North Carolina and Clemson. Always tough to play down at Clemson. And a look at BYU, the last undefeated Division I team, number 3 in the country, taking on Utah, 11 Eastern time tomorrow night. Before we get you back to St. John's and Pitt, more scores as Kent State a winner tonight by 3 over Ball State. DePaul tonight a winner at Indiana State, 64-56. Tennessee is now 5-4 in the SEC, defeating Georgia by 11. North Carolina State got 21 from Charles Shackelford, 20 from Vinny Del Negro. The win over Virginia. Wake Forest is back to 8-10 on the year. The win against NC Wilmington. Auburn and LSU in the second half. And LSU, which has lost the last 2 road games in conference, leads that one by 5. Eastern Michigan now makes it a 4-game Ohio U losing streak. Eastern Michigan in the MAC, 109-92. And Western Michigan, the Broncos, 4-4 in conference, defeating Toledo, 88-76. We've got a tight one with the leadership at stake in the Big East. We'll be checking other scores a little bit later. Back to Jim Kelly.
All right, Bobby, thank you. We're at halftime with the Panthers leading again by 7 points. Of course, the Redmen of St. John, they had a 7-point lead. Now, you said, Bill, at the very top, one of the keys to winning had to be Jerome Lane, had to hit the offensive glass for tonight to be a good pit stop.
Well, he's an aggressive player, but what shocked me is his offense. I mean, we've seen him a few times not really bounce the ball or take the jump shot, but now he's doing some things on the offensive end.
Well, you talk about that jump shot. Take a look now as number 34 gets free.
Well, I don't think St. John's did a good job defensively. They weren't as aggressive, but right here you see the cushion. Jason Williams really not up close enough, and coming in, he was a great high school offensive prospect, and he's showing it this evening.
Well, you talked about position being a key to life as another key. I remember these things. If you say them, I write them down. Shelton Jones got position for the Redmen.
Shelton, again, a quiet type of player who just does what he has to. He's not a 40-point or a 30-point scorer. Here he just makes a good, strong power move after a good entry pass. He's a solid performer game in and game out, and I think he's put to bed the idea that he's an up-and-down player.
And you take a look, Lane 6 points off 6 rebounds, Jones 10 points and 2 rebounds to the keepers of the box.
Who is keeping these graphics? I mean, they're absurd. But yeah, that's a power game. I think St. John's has to become more tenacious. They played well early, but a little of the air has gone out with the steady play of Pitt. So if knowing Luke on a second, they're going to have to toughen up inside or they're going to be in deep trouble.
Well, that's one of the adjustments that Louis will have to make. The Pitt Panthers 0-5 at Alumni Hall. And right now, they've got a 7-point lead. We'll come back with the second half right after these messages.
What do you think of the Ford Festiva? It's big.
Small.
Nah, it's big. Sort of a big smallness.
Festiva gives you features like a roomy interior, 660 powertrain warranty, sometimes even your own parking space. So it's big and small.
How about Festiva's price? It's small. It's nothing. Small smallness.
Ford Festiva. Call it big, call it small. Call it yours for only $54.90.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Millions of miles and millions of cars, more of them every year. They're riding on Kendall Motor Oil. That's what I hear.
Every year, people like racing champion Big Daddy Don Garlitz rely on the protection and quality of Kendall Motor Oil.
Don Garlitz and Kendall Motor Oil, year after year.
Kendall, protection worth its weight in gold for more than 100 years.
For more than 80 years, people have come home to homes with Anderson windows. Come home. And while times have changed, our commitment to quality and to the home has not. Which is why today, more people come home to Anderson windows than any other.
Come home to quality. Come home to Anderson.
I got a different kind of face, a different kind of smile.
No matter how different you are, Pearl has a frame to fit your style. Right now, save on fashionable frames such as Halston, Christian Dior, and Evan Picone. And save an additional $25 with the Pearl coupon.
I got a different kind of style.
Look for the coupon and details in the February Family Circle and the February 6th TV Guide.
Oh, yeah.
ESPN's NCAA basketball, Pittsburgh and St. John's. Brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Good News Plus with the Lubra Smooth Strip for extra smoothness and comfort only from Gillette. And by Nike, maker of the world's premier athletic shoes.
Jim Kelly and Bill Raftery back with you live from Alumni Hall in Queens, New York, where the Panthers, ranked number 9 in both polls, have a 7-point lead, 45-38, over the 20th-ranked Redmen of St. John's. Halftime stats, Pittsburgh very impressive after trailing by 7.
They had the slow start, but they started heating up. Incredible shooting percentage on both ends, and that'll surprise a few people.
Sure will. St. John's not known for their three-point shots. In fact, they may take fewer three-point shots than any major college team in the country.
Of course, Pittsburgh not getting to the line as much, but they're getting the ball inside. Rebounds continually. Pitt able to outnumber the opponent. In this one, 4 of those offensive rebounds are by the Bear, Jerome Lane.
How about that? 8-0 on second half choice.
And he's the reason. Only 6 points, but he's got 4 offensive boards.
So the Pitt Panthers came in 15-2 overall, 5-1 in the Big East, off to their best start since 73-74, when at this point in the season they were 16-1. St. John's 14-3 overall. They're 5-2 in the Big East, but that's 2 weeks ago they were 0-2, and they come up with a first half or second half steal. Boo Harvey gets the Redmen.
And credit Michael Porter. He went over and helped Shelton Jones defensively swipe the ball away from Charles Smith, who had an open lane to the goal.
13 points for Boo Harvey. He's at his season average, but he's had 17 points for the last 3 games as an average. Porter again, his second straight steal. Picked the pocket of Matthews. Behind the back to get away from Gore.
Jason Matthews held the ball out in front. He'll learn. Can't do it at this level. Down screen.
Porter.
Hey, Jason Matthews really up pretty good. Is that number 3, I believe, on him? You saw Porter able to spring skyward as the 3rd foul on Jason Matthews. Thought he had all ball.
Watch the quick hands of number 4 right there.
Well, right here, you got to whip it across. You can't just hold it out there for grabs. You got to value the basketball.
3rd in scoring for the Redmen, hitting 78% of his 3 show, Michael Porter.
Chris came here because Boo Harvey wanted to come here. Louis didn't object at all. Knowledgeable coach.
We first saw him at the Sports Festival down in Baton Rouge. He played for the South team. They were the winning team in the '85 Olympic Festival.
Again, good interior defense. Shelton Jones, look at Bruss.
Well, he cleared the Gatorade with his vertical jump.
Without the equipment on, any loose ball is Matt Bruss. He just goes after everything. Jason Williams did a great job up and over. A high hurdler.
Jerome Lane free on the paint. Couldn't fall against Jason Williams, but the foul is called, and Lane will go to the line. That's the 2nd on Jason Williams.
Jason Williams did a great job defensively earlier, helping out Shelton Jones. You can see the defense in the interior end has picked up for St. John's.
Lane at the stripe, 60% free throw shooter, 60 of 100 coming in. Leads the Panthers in minutes and in steals.
If the country didn't know Jerome Lane before the basketball game that he broke the back with, they sure do now. His talents will come along with his ability to rip the glass.
And the 8 points for the Vincent St. Mary's High School star out of Akron. Needed just 16 points coming in, Billy, to become the Panthers' 16th player to reach the 1,000-point plateau.
Well recruited. Of course, does a lot of little things, too. Little switch. They're switching all the inside cuts, Pitt.
Rust unselfishly gives it up. Williams misses from the line.
A little out of his range, maybe, huh?
A little too far. 5-point lead for the Panthers. Here's Gore.
Now, Matt Bruss took the long way to get out there. Gore burned him with a good down screen again.
10 points for Demetrius.
Pitt really efficient on their down screens and cross screens.
Boo Harvey called the play, and Porter didn't like it. He winced his eyes a little
Wasn't
bit.
his. 2 people on the same spot.
Porter for 3. Long lead pass to Matthews. The foot race. Beats Bruss.
Good control. And Matthews with some retribution there on Porter.
9-point lead, and Louis seen enough. 17:51 left to go. The 9th-ranked Panthers of Pittsburgh, their biggest lead of the night against Louis and his Redmen.
Hey, how do you like your Ranger? Great. How about your Toyota? Nice. Yeah, I checked out Toyota before I got this. Oh, yeah? Why'd you go for the Ford? Ranger had more features and a lower sticker price. You're kidding. What features? Well, a fuel-injected engine, tachometer, and interval wipers. P215 all-season radials, and a 6-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty. All that. Yep, and still priced less than Toyota.
Your order, please.
What did he order?
Now, during Ford's Leadership Celebration, get a $500 cash bonus on Ranger.
How to shave a giant.
Avoid big trouble. Use the Gillette Good News Plus disposable. It's got the Lubra-Smooth strip, so the comfortable shave for a giant is...
this little guy.
Good News Plus from Gillette.
Give the Army Signal Corps 30 minutes, and they can turn a mountaintop into a satellite communication station.
Roger, Bravo 26, loud and clear. Hey, we got him! Right.
Find your future in the Army.
The meek may inherit the earth, but they won't get the ball.
The Air Alpha Force from Nike.
All right, Bill Raftery, if you're Louis, what do you say during the timeout? Who do you look for a lift?
Well, Michael Porter, you single out and say, hey, Michael, you can't force it and take quick shots like that. I think you've got to go to Shelton Jones, get him in the game, get him into the flow a little bit, and let the guards just run the show and settle for shots if they don't get it inside.
You and I look over the bench of St. John's. Really going to come in and give him an instant spark.
Now, Terry Bross, of course, with the leg. First time he's dressed in weeks, but Landon Lewis played well against Kansas in the holiday tournament, but not instant offense there.
Porter goes to the baseline. A soft 8-footer is good. The Redmen close to within 7. It's 17-23 left in the second stanza.
That's a lot better looking than the long jumper, isn't it?
Yeah, you didn't like that shot selection on the long one. Gore goes down. Nice pass to Matthews. Blows the bunny. Gore gets it back. Dribbles in trouble.
Good hustle and Bruss foul.
That's number 4.
Yeah, no question. Easy call. Matt knows it. This is when you can tell whether your club's into the game or not. You got to come up with these. The loose ball here, you see the reaction. Good, but they just don't come up with it in a little extra effort. Charles Smith down. That's a 6'10" All-American, fellas. So you've got to pay the price regardless of what publicity you get.
You know, some people might criticize Bruss, but he was really just fighting for the ball and trying to ignite something, and there's a good steal by Porter. Over Matthews.
Good run.
Michael Porter with 10. Career high 21 against Georgetown back on the 20th of January.
Now, Pitt's got to get it back inside, get those pounding type of, here's a little cut, good screen.
Charles Smith against Porter, mismatch there. Jones lets him free.
Great patience, kept the ball up nice and high.
14 for Charles Smith.
Jones trying to back Lane down. Pretty.
Jones a little too hard, and Smith clears the board.
Good help defense. Little intimidation.
Long lead pass to Matthews. He'll get the bucket, but Sean Miller gets the big assist.
Snap chest pass. You don't waste any time.
7 points for Matthews. 2 assists needed by Sean Miller coming in to break Sonny Lewis's freshman record of 88 back in 76-77.
Miller with a real solid ball game for Pitt. Jason Williams begging.
Russ had a notion playing with 4 fouls, and the offensive foul. Little elbow down low on Jason Williams.
They backed Charles Smith in. Nice way to start your career.
We talked about that freshman assist record, and there it is.
He'll break a few more, too.
Only a freshman. Started playing basketball at the age of 5 with his dad, John, as his coach at Blackhawk High School.
That's a little rub off by Gore. Smith didn't shape up. He stepped out that time.
Sean Miller for 3 off the back rim. Slapped up.
Lane. Oh! Great move. He walked, but oh, that's your 6'6" power man.
Paul doesn't believe it. So no, I don't think he took steps.
Let's see if he keeps the pivot foot on. Look at this. On the left foot's the pivot foot. I think he stayed down because you couldn't see the sole of the shoe.
9-point lead for the Panthers. Redmen need a little run here. Ooh, Harvey against Smith. The intimidation in Gore goes to the rim. Back to Smith. The big man starts down the lane.
Good patience you saw by Miller. He had Smith read all the way.
Jason Williams. Outlet pass to Porter. Slam dunk. Jones looks for the foul, didn't get the call.
Demetrius Gore with great help there caused the miss. I mean, you just don't relax and give up. If you can't get your legs down there, try and help out. You'll see the reaction by Meats. Saved the basket. Real heads-up play. The little things.
Gore just got his hands in there. His nickname's Freakazoid. He did.
From the lady in the harbor to the lighthouse on the ocean, from the farms out east to the city streets, the place that we call home. We're friendly people, and here's our way. We give our best every day. Long Island, we've served you as you've grown. We're King Colin, Long Island's own.
We should have waited till spring to buy new cars. And missed the avalanche of savings at Kinney Motors? No way! There it is, Kinney Motors Winter Cashback Blowout. A blizzard of cashback on all new Chevy Knolls? Let me look. Wow! Go to Kinney's Winter Cashback Blowout for huge cash incentives, including $500 back on Chevy S10 pickups and Blazers, $600 back on all Corsicas and Berettas, and $750 back on celebrities with up to an additional $1,900 off. For a blizzard of savings, follow the crowd to Kinney Motors of Riverhead.
Breaking Sonny Lewis's freshman assist record. Here's why.
Well, he's a great dribbler and doesn't misuse the dribble. Look at that snap pass, leads you home. One bounce, power up, Jason. Signal 5 to your partner, but a lot of guys who can dribble like to do it for show. You got to use it wisely, and Sean Miller does it well each evening.
But his idol was Billy Donovan. Ooh, pretty good one, huh?
I thought it was good for a second. Billy playing with the Knickerbockers. Another guy that got the ball to the right people.
Lane swings it quickly back over to Sean Miller. Harvey picks him up. Smith in the paint.
And Charles Smith, they get it to Lane now. He had Lane if he waited a second.
Double teamed and Lane missed it. Gore comes up with the interception. Lane with a high dribble. Louis said, where's the palm?
Jason Williams, that's one of the reasons Louis, great shot there by Gore after the cut. That's one of the reasons Louis is crazy about running. You get the ball in the wrong hand, something like that turns over.
12 points on the night for Demetrius Gore. His goal to play on the U.S. Olympic team.
Well, he's only got to make a phone call, right? Little leg contact by Gore.
Third foul on Demetrius. In the Big East, the Panthers and what they've done tonight, and the Redmen, and a huge disparity.
Awesome. Now they like to play the power game. Throw it up, go get it.
Jones has been quiet here in the second stanza. Inside it goes. Jason Williams back out to Porter. Behind Muto's screen.
Little 2-3 zone, and they pick the wing.
12 points. 13:30 left to go. Crowd gets back into it. A 9-point Pittsburgh lead. Ooh, Porter almost stole a good pass. Lane goes down, and the foul.
Bad gamble. I think they give it to Muto, but Porter out. You've got to advance to deny the ball in such a way you have balance. See the right hand now? He's got the wrong hand forward. Weight completely out of kilter, and of course it leads to a 3-point possibility here. Mistake defensively.
And Jerome Lane goes to the line. The junior, 6'6", out of Akron, Ohio, a 60% free throw shooter, but he's hit 32 of his last 39 coming in. Muto pulls it down. Through Harvey, slapped away by Sean Miller, who may have walked with the ball. Outlet to Porter, 2-on-1. What do you think?
Pretty good control. Yeah, he may have walked.
Not exactly a ringing endorsement there.
No.
Biggest lead of the night is up to 13 for the 9th-ranked Pitt Panthers.
Big swing there, almost a layup for St. John's, but the gritty play by Miller.
I'll tell you one thing, you've got to give Pittsburgh a lot of credit coming in here. They've never won. They're 0-5.
Did you see the soft block?
There's Porter streaking to the hoop. Offensive foul. I want to go back to what I said about the Panthers, though. They're not looking ahead to the big game with Syracuse next week.
Well, this is a big game for them. Their poise, their control, their maturity. And right here, look at him soft. Just keep it in play. This is starts the fast break. Red Auerbach loved it about Bill Russell. I'm sure Paul Evans likes it about Charles Smith.
61 block shot, 6th in the U.S. coming in for the big man out of Warren Harding High School. 12 and a half left. Harvey draws the foul on Sean Miller.
I did a talk show. ESPN set it up out in Pittsburgh last night, and they had a caller say that I said something about Charles Smith not being nasty or not being tough. It's just he's not a selfish kid. He is a tremendous team player, and occasionally he can do some things to really take over a game.
Big bucket by Jason Williams inside. You want to talk to? I'm waiting for you to do Will Schreiner and then Oprah Winfrey.
No, that's big time. But he's capable of taking over a game, is my point. Just that extra step up.
Off the foot of Boo Harvey at the 12:08 mark. Again, an 11-point lead for the Panthers.
Well, you got to count on your defense all times, but when you're behind, it's got to step up a level, and of course, you've got to give them one and done. Seal off the glass on a shot.
Gore for 3, and he buys the bucket.
Miller making sure the quick snap pass, nobody out.
17 points, Billy, for Gore on the night. He'd only hit 6 of 16 three-pointers.
Well, St. John's concentrating inside.
Muto off the rim. Gore. Here's Porter all alone.
And, of course, the shot by Muto, the floor not balanced, the guards down and through. And St. John's normally doesn't give up easy breaks.
A 16-point lead for the 9th-ranked Panthers of Pittsburgh.
The United States Grand Prix. It's as close as most of us ever get to a Formula One machine. Until now. The Acura Integra. It's Formula One technology, and it's street legal. The Integra. Precision-crafted performance from Acura.
The scenario with these guys drew with the mergers and acquisitions area of the law. Past litigation support or work product retrieval. Overseas, 4 or 5 different currencies. Very complicated. Their auditors panic. They're pushing IBM, so we set the firm up with a Wang VS computer and WP+. Wang office and we put up a legal time billing package in the Wang 4G office and customized code. Totally integrated, totally globalized. They benchmarked us. 2 months later, they polled the jury and we won.
It's winnable then?
Definitely.
There's our score. There's our time left. Can the Redmen get back into it?
Well, again, it's shot selection. Of course, a lot of these guys, Ed Badger, Rick Sack, Jerry West, not a bad player. First year he struggled. All-star player. When Jerry talks, and of course they're all looking.
Well, they're looking at some immediate help in Charles Smith for futures. There's Jerome Lane. And how about the freshman we highlighted at the very top?
Now, there's some good talent out here, no question about it.
Jones, this is in 2-point range.
He wasn't touching the ball inside. Louis moved him outside. But again, shot selection. You've got to take good shots to get back in a game. You can't ignite Pittsburgh with bad shots and no court balance.
Lane down the lane, dishes off from the baseline.
Darrell Porter.
Porter with 4.
I'll tell you, the exterior defense is now soft. They're taking away the inside game, but not reacting out St. John's.
Louis getting ready to go to the bench. Matt Rush with 4 fouls to check back in. Jones against Smith. And Porter picks up the foul.
Nice move by the big guy. 6'9", very agile. Not a bad move getting him out so he can see things and maybe bounce himself to ecstasy.
Jason Williams will sit down. Matt Rust, last-minute instructions from Louis, checks back in with those 4 fouls. And Porter sits down. At the line, number 31, Shelton Jones, 74% free throw shooter. Better be careful, communications major.
Hope he makes it in the NBA.
1,142 points. 22nd on the Redmen's all-time scoring list. 15 more passes Billy Goodwin.
They're not used to seeing this difference in the score at Alumni Hall. I'm sure St. John's not used to it either.
13 points for Jones, so 2 more, and he passes Billy Goodwin. And that means hearing the crowd this quiet either. Panthers took them out of it in the first half.
Pitt got it wherever they wanted, even when they were behind in the first half, and you've got to feel good sitting on the bench. knowing you can get the ball to your key guys wherever you'd like.
Panthers working on the clock, and that brings Paul Evans and his assistant to applaud over there. They're happy with the patience the Panthers are showing right now. Down to Gore, spin around.
Just flawless the way they're running their offense. Of course, the shots, the secondary thing, if you run your offense, get good position, good cuts, you know, your guys at this level are going to make those shots.
17. 10-minute mark. Porter against Porter. Michael against Darrell.
That's a break for St. John's, but now the guards doing it with the bounce. Earlier they were passing, cutting, and coming back out. A little easier to defend when you know they're just going to use the dribble to exploit your defense.
There's Louis, and if you just pull back a little bit, some long faces on the Redmen bench. They don't look like a very confident group.
He's not used to this.
39-2, the Redmen here at Alumni Hall over the last 3.5 years.
We never stayed over when we came in here. We used to just get here at game time, make sure the bus was prepared. Very tough to win here, and Pittsburgh doing a marvelous job of really exploiting on both ends.
Smith down on the baseline, double team by Muto and by Boo Harvey, the second on Boo.
Trying to help out on the post, just like the coach said, but what they're doing is not recovering if the ball comes back out. Of course, Gore hit the three, a couple of baseline jumpers as well.
Smith way out high, Muto on him, and back it goes to Sean Miller. 9.5 to go. 16-point lead for the Panthers.
Great poise by Pitt.
Smith pushes Muto a little bit. Firing and Brust with a rebound.
Now that shot, that's where Charles, he is not the center.
Alley-oop to Jones. Takes the dribble and draws the foul on Gore.
I don't know if they gave it to Gore or Charles Smith, but Charles with the jumper where he turned around, he won't be taking that in traffic against 6'11 guys. But Shelton Jones showing you his ability to run the floor.
Third foul on Smith. He's done a good job because remember he had 2 early in the first half.
He's a smart player, and of course he's been around, so he understands as Miller gets a little blow and Pat Cavanaugh comes in. Now, St. John's has not used the 1-3-1 half-court trap. They're really not a 96-foot pressing team, so they rely on that little half-court action.
High arching shot for the New York State Player of the Year back in 1984. Played his high school ball for Fred Williams. He was also the county high jump champion. 6 feet 7 inches.
I believe his high school coach passed away this past December, too. Jim was talking to Ronnie Rutledge about him.
That was the 15th point for Shelton Jones, so he is now tied Billy Goodwin. One more, and he'll move into 22nd spot on the Redmen all-time scoring list. Meanwhile,
Nice
Pat Cavanaugh. That's a Porter.
Pat on the fly pattern, huh?
6 points for Silky Porter. Cavanaugh gets the assist.
Shelton trying to do a lot of holding off in there. Pitt with good interior defense. Once again, the dribble got him in trouble.
Cavanaugh whips it the length of the court.
He's getting ready for Mike Godfrey. A little smile.
Cavanaugh was a high school quarterback. Threw for over 1,200 yards his senior year at Grove City High School. Mike Gottfried's down in Baton Rouge. I was talking to some of the Pitt people at halftime, doing a little recruiting there. Down to them in LSU. So Mike Gottfried and Mike Archer over the same recruitee.
Good hold off by Brust and the pass by Jason Williams on the money. All set up by the seal down low.
6 points for Matt Brust.
Of course, Craig Hayward turning pro too. That doesn't help the backfield situation for Pitt.
That's a big hole to fill, isn't it?
Sure is. He filled a few holes in his life.
Caused a few, too. He might have won the Heisman had he stayed in Pitt.
Pitt right now in a situation where they got to pick up a little tempo defensively now. They can't let St. John's make a run.
Matt Bruss waving his arms, trying to get the crowd back into it. Jones goes to the lane, and there's a great extra effort by Shelton Jones. 17 points.
Well, you can't let teams hang around, and Pitt has let St. John's hang around. All of a sudden, they got themselves a game.
A 5-0 spurt by the Redmen of St. John's, ranked number 20 in the country. Kavanaugh whips it to Smith.
This is where you see your poise now. Run your offense, get the ball to the right spot. Of course, if you're behind, you got to really tee it up.
Smith. Rebound, Jones. Look at the airborne ability of Michael Porter.
Just jumped over people.
Michael Porter with 14 just cleared air traffic control. LaGuardia is nearby, but you needed a net to stop him on that one.
With its 24-valve 2.7-liter V6 and advanced anti-lock brakes, this is the performance sedan that's making European automakers uncomfortable. But with such amenities as a leather-trimmed interior and sophisticated stereo system, there's no reason you should feel that way. The Legend sedan, precision-crafted performance from Acura.
Hey, how you doing? Good. In fact, I feel like light. Hey. What the? Whoops. Uh-oh. Oh, I am so... Oh, no. Oh. Well, I meant Bud Light.
If you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, ask for Bud Light, because everything else...
You all right? Sure, just a little lightheaded.
It's just a light.
Pittsburgh has been playing excellent defense. The post pass, you'll see Demetrius Gore come along to try and help. Just gets there a little bit late. And Shelton Jones, with a little tip to himself, really saves an errant pass. And, of course, the rest simple for the big guy. But Pitt, excellent defense all game.
And a nice 7-0 run by the Redmen of St. John. Kavanaugh back into the quarterback spot. Now cross-court it goes to Porter. Down low to Jerome Lane. And the whistle inside. Foul is called on Michael Porter. How about Sean Miller now sitting over on the Panther bench? 10 points in the first half for the freshman. No points in the second half. So Paul Evans wants to talk to him.
I didn't really make a lot of mistakes. I think he's just there for a rest. He needs Kavanaugh in games. He's a solid kind of a performer. A little alley-oop there of sorts on the inbounds.
Oh, Michael Porter again! He's got 16, and St. John's right back into it.
And right, you got your answer. Miller's up. It's really nothing Kavanaugh did wrong. There's a foul. Oh, Michael Porter upset. He actually kicked the ball. Nothing Kavanaugh did wrong, but St. John's with the run. You got to come back with Miller, no question.
A 9-0 run by Lou Carnesecca's Redmen. Now let's watch the jam by Michael Porter out of Pulaski High School.
I'll give him 5'10", maybe, huh? And look at him up big. Either hand he can do it. Extraordinary ability to get in the air.
At the line, Darryl Porter. Out of Perry High School in Pittsburgh. They didn't have to go far to recruit him, and Matt Bruss pulls down the board. He's playing and throwing the elbows with 4 fouls. Boo Harvey on the drive against Miller. Boo misfires. Rebound comes down to Demetrius Gore.
And good control by Gore, too. Porter had taken off. He thought about it. Charles Smith getting a little blow. Martin did not come up with that last rebound. Had an opportunity to.
Silky Porter, top of the key. 8 points.
Impressive Pitt. Right?
They don't fold.
No,
A 17-point lead, a 9-0 run by the Redmen. They are ranked number 9. They lead by 10 with 5.5 left to go and a foul inside.
Jason Williams screen down and bang the guy. Jim Burr right on top of it. They've been running that play down the lane, trying to get Porter. That's number 4 on Jason.
Louis has seen it all in his 20th year here. 14 NCAA berths, 5 NIT berths, 15 20-victory seasons for the man. 20 years the head coach here at St. John's.
I got to muster another run right now, St. John's. It's Been solved by Pitt temporarily. And the one thing you notice, Paul Evans, a lot of confidence, taking Miller out, resting, Smith out, resting.
9 points for the Pitt Panthers' best defensive guard, Darryl Porter. We've got 5:36 left to go. The Redmen trail by as many as 17. There's Paul Evans with his back to you, talking to Kavanaugh, talking to Porter, and Charles Smith, number 32, sits down as well. So you've got Martin back in, number 55, the freshman.
Pretty good confidence and depth. Good job defensively by Pitt.
Gore will let Matt Brush shoot from out there. Bad pass.
I think Gore got a piece of it. Look at the run. Not a good look by him.
St. John's gets it right back.
Jerome should have looked at real high. Didn't take the right angle on it or eaten the basketball. 5 minutes left. They were in good shape.
12-point lead for the Panthers. They've got Syracuse next at the Civic Center next week. 5 of the next 7 Big East games all on the road. And a foul inside called on Bobby Martin. He better calm down or he'll get the tee.
That wasn't smart. He's got to relax. He's got to come around a few years before the officials let him get away with that. Williams trying to back him in. Yeah, no question. Martin had grabbed pole. Williams doing a good job trying to establish some turf down there.
Jason Williams out of New York City. Averaged 23 points and 10 rebounds his senior year at Christ the King High School at the stripe, and he brings St. John's back to within 11. He's got 12 on the night.
He's practiced a little free throw shooting. That's the last time we saw him.
He was the 6th man until the 23rd of January when he collected 15 points against UConn, and Louis made him a starter. Brush with a big board.
Shelton Jones kept it alive, and then Matt Brush cleaned it up.
8 points, and he earns every one, doesn't he?
Sure does.
He doesn't get any easier. He fights for everything.
He's the mop-up guy.
17-point lead. Sliced down to 9. A great run by the Redmen here at home at Alumni Hall. Matthews free from the stripe.
But they're really running their stuff beautifully. Little down screen by Lane and Jason Matthews unerring. I can't get over the confidence of Paul Evans and his bench. Smith patiently sitting by.
Rust for 2. Rebound, Panthers. Cross court. Matthews going to drive on the paint. That's a big bucket.
Sure is. Nice, silky type of move.
11 points for Matthews, and suddenly the Panthers answer with 4 straight points of their own. What kinds of things is Paul Evans learning about his club now with the liberal substitution, seeing the big lead disappear?
I think he's learned it before this night, though. He's so confident, putting people in at right spots, and they're all contributing.
3:55 left to go. Panthers lead by 13.
The United States Grand Prix. It's as close as most of us ever get to a Formula One machine. Until now. The Acura Integra. It's Formula One technology and it's street legal. The Integra. Precision crafted performance from Acura.
Big battle in the Big East coming up next Wednesday night. Syracuse, the Orangemen of St. John, and Jim Boeheim against the Pitt Panthers. As you'll see Demetrius Gore, Jerome Lane, and Charles Smith again. Join us next Wednesday on ESPN. .340 and counting, a 13-point lead. Redmen need another run. Jones goes to the lane. Smith comes down with it.
And Shelton, as kids do, when you don't score, you're sort of somewhat frustrating to go after, but you just saw the collapsing defense of Pitt. Excellent job as Shelton turned to the middle.
You know, talking about next Wednesday's game, that'll be at the Civic Center in Pittsburgh. 5 of the Panthers' next 7 games in the Big East, all on the road. Will that take its toll?
Oh, it sure will. Of course, Louis and Brian Mahoney alongside of him, really trying to figure this out. Yeah, I think you'll learn something about your team when you travel around the East Coast.
That high arching shot for Charles Smith.
You know, certain clubs are tough matchups for your team as you go through a season, and Pitt looks like a very tough one for St. John's. I mean, they just have a lot of answers, and of course they really punished inside the defense of St. John's.
Well, they handled them easily, Billy, back on January the 9th. They led by 12 and they won by 11. That was in Pittsburgh. And here at Alumni Hall, where the Panthers have never won, they're 0-5. Perhaps until tonight. 3 minutes and 27 seconds away from their first win in this building. Rust against Gore to the paint.
Good strong move. Trying to get to the foul line, if anything.
10 points for Matt. Again, he doesn't get them cheaply. He's got to earn it inside.
Of course, all the minutes on the floor, it's tough to put a lot of pressure on the ball for Porter and Harvey. They haven't been out all evening.
What does the fatigue factor set in?
I think it has a little bit defensively. That's where it normally shows. Start bending over a little bit. You're a step late, trying to deny the ball.
Gore and Rust, good battle going on down low. Shot clock says 17.
Look at the motion by Pitt. I mean, they're shaping up, able to get the spot. Good D by Rust, up and down.
Matt Rust has to be careful. He's playing with 4 fouls. 2:37 left to go. 13-point deficit for the Redmen.
Yeah, Boo Harvey's moving the ball like they're way ahead. You got to push the ball up, shoot quickly.
But again, maybe the fatigue factor.
Maybe.
Porter.
Good step on there.
Porter with 18. 6 over his average.
Very impressive performance by Pitt.
At the 2-minute mark, an 11-point lead.
Look at this, just getting the ball where they want it. That's tired. That's being tired too.
Rust intimidated Gore. Charles Smith high off the rim. Martin pulls it down. The freshman puts it back up.
Good anticipation of the miss, wasn't it?
I'll tell you, 11 points. Had that not fallen, St. John still had a real shot. That's a big bucket. As the Panthers ran off about 25 seconds on the clock. St. John's comes up empty, and that'll just about do it.
Yeah, that's post time.
Gore inside. Jones takes it off the rim, and it goes out of bounds to Pitt.
Tough night. You notice St. John's unable to go the length of the floor and pressure. Guys, they never had real good control of the game. The speed early was not conducive to their style, and Louis looking on, anguished, I'm sure, but a very impressive performance by Pitt.
Hey, Louis gets the orangement of Jim Boeheim next as well, as does Paul Evans. That game's Saturday at the Garden.
Nice bounce-back game, huh?
75 seconds left to go. Panthers will win their first game ever at Alumni Hall. Paul Evans' crew goes to 16-2 overall, 6-1 in the Big East. The Redmen fall to 14-4 and 5-3 in the Big East. And the foul called on Shelton Jones, his second. Well, you've been impressed with the poise of Pittsburgh all night.
Much. Now, Miller just called everybody together on the foul line. First, Dean Smith started that where they huddled up on the foul line, got their defensive instructions, but the rookie started to assert himself a little bit, vocally, as well as in a demonstrative fashion.
And the man they call Mr. Fluid, Charlie Smith, he's really a true power forward, isn't he?
I'd say small forward, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, he can handle it and run the lane, and at 6'10", the NBA is getting bigger at that position. No more of the 6'6", 6'7" guys. They're the second guard or the shooting guard.
A 77% free throw shooter coming in. Put on 35 pounds since going to Pitt.
Well, that uniform hides it pretty well, doesn't it?
The football coach, Mike Godfrey, took off 35 or 40 pounds. Gave up pizza, goes out walking every night with his wife. We've got a timeout here at St. John's with the score, Pittsburgh 86, the Redmen 71.
I am an
American, and I am crazy.
His wife has disappeared, and only one person in Paris can help him. She's about to lead him into a world as mysterious as she is.
Stop lying to me! Now!
Harrison Ford, Frantic. Rated R. Starts Friday, February 26th at a theater near you.
I am the future of the world. I am the hope of my nation. And we won't have to be for you and for me or tomorrow. If we all can agree, there'll be sweet harmony tomorrow. And we all will be there with a Coca-Cola to share. Promise us tomorrow, and we'll build a better world for you.
Back at Alumni Hall, the frustration on the face of Matt Brust as the Redmen trailed by 15. They closed to within 11, made a great couple of runs, but couldn't get any closer. Jones, too hard. Porter slaps it back down. They battle for it underneath, and Matt Brust is still fighting as if this is a two-point game.
Well, he sure is. Well, there's no quit in that guy. No question. He's looking at Bobby Martin now.
40 seconds left to go. Panthers can work on the clock. They will go to 6-1 in the Big East. Jimmy Burr watches it go out of bounds right in front. Lou Carnes second. Louis says, "No, wait a minute, Jimmy."
Nice conversation. That's about a call earlier, I'm sure. Johnny Rutledge and Brian Mahoney.
This is the 21st meeting. St. John's led it 15-5. That was too hard, and Gore comes down with another rebound. Outlet to Matthews with 27 seconds left.
With the shot of both benches, you can see the difference. The jubilation on one and the other end, the agony.
Bobby Martin with 7 seconds left. Matt Brust will just let things wind down. So the Redmen of St. John, ranked number 20, beaten by the Panthers of Pittsburgh and Paul Evans. Panthers, of course, are ranked number 9, both with Syracuse next. Panthers have Syracuse. That's next week. You'll see that game on ESPN. How about the Big East race?
A week off, what do you do? You can't play any better than Pitt did tonight. Want to take a couple of days off and bottle what they did tonight. Good job by Paul Evans and his club.
And Charles Smith, as you look at that two-shot, Charles Smith said when Paul Evans came to Pitt, he said he didn't demand our respect, he earned it.
They just went out and worked, and they have arrived.
So for Bill Raftery, I'm Jim Kelly from Alumni Hall. We'll be coming back as Bill will talk with Paul Evans and, of course, Charles Smith. But right now, let's go back to the studio and our host, Bob Lee. Bobby, take it.
Okay, Jim, it never gets easier in the Big East. You might have a week off, but it's going to be tough. 88-71, the final score. Pitt remains in first place. Their first win ever at Alumni Hall. Pitt now 16-2 overall, 6-1 in conference, and the St. John's 6-game win streak, poof, up in smoke. We're going to keep you caught up on a lot of scores and highlights, keeping a close eye on the game between Oklahoma and Kansas. Reminding you, tomorrow night we've got a triple header.
Talk about philosophy all game long, and at this stage of the game, it's the guys who can reach back and nail the free throws.
No question about that.
Martin, 89%.